Welcome. This is Barry Jones from the Angel School, and we're here for a weekly angel reading for December the 11th through the 17th, 2017. So let's just take a moment to tune into the frequency of this week's reading and align ourselves with the blessings and the beautiful messages of unconditional love which channel through your heart chakras, and just allow yourself to feel as though you're just being bathed in this channel, this continuous free-flowing channel of information, resources, solutions, and ideas that has been with you, if they're right, not the word, throughout the ages of time, throughout the ages of consciousness. And what they would like for you to do now is to allow God to take anything that you are, what they're showing me is they want you to connect with God about whatever it is that you desire, and know that God is right there, present in that desire, and present in the best possible ways, so that God is always creating this frequency of best opportunities for you, and that there's an alignment, that part of you that is always in alignment with God, that is making everything easy and possible and free-flowing. And so the only thing that you have to do is to not resist and just allow the process to unfold, knowing that that frequency of good intention and alignment is not something that you can undo. It's not within your power or the power of anyone else in your life or the circumstances to unravel or to sort of create a wedge between you and it. And at that level, it exists whole and complete, and always having a sensation of fulfillment. At that level, it's always feeling the total experience, and is in harmony with it, and is feeling this continuous unfoldment of change as what you desire is always unfolding. So it's always becoming and expanding. And so this is very important for us, because we kind of get locked into a desire or anything in our lives, something that we want to manifest, and it's almost like we're focused on the outcome, and that outcome is then frozen in time. It's like it doesn't change. It's like a picture that just always it never changes. But what they want you to have this idea is that's one of those moving pictures that is like a Harry Potter, but not just that the same thing keeps replaying over and over again, but that it's changing and evolving, and it never remains the same. And so that this way, what you're doing is that you're allowing yourself to grow with the desire, or to catch up with the desire. Better way to say that. So the thing is that, and put it this way, we are always way behind what is unfolding for us, because we sort of freeze things in time. Our expectations get frozen in time. Our goals get frozen in time. From the moment you conceive it, you stop conceiving. You stop allowing it to create, to expand, and you are stuck on that goal as it first came to you. But that idea that came through was passing through in its cycle of evolution or expansion. And what we don't do is we don't keep up with that expansion. When we first come upon the idea, we think it's just beginning with us, and that we have all this work and effort that we now must exert in order to make it happen. What you don't understand is that when you catch it, it's because you allowed yourself to see what was always unfolding, what was always forming and developing. You caught a glance of it because you let go in some way of some worry or something that fear that's usually distracting you from seeing all that's always unfolding and forming around you because of you, you see. So the thing is that when you catch it, then you freeze it, like you take a photo. So let's not take photos of our dreams so that they're frozen in time. And then you're stuck on, how can I make this happen? How can I make this happen? When it's really, what is happening with it? Where's this idea taking me? Where is it going? And you should be an ongoing adventurer or explorer of that idea that you're now passionate about. Some things, ideas pass through that we aren't passionate about, and so we capture it, and maybe it gives us that boost that we need to latch on to the one that does. So the thing is that, but we must keep flowing with them, allowing them to expand. This came up beautifully with a client this week, and in which we were applying this idea to the perfect partner or the perfect anything. You know, we sort of do the same thing. We have this idea of what we're looking for and what they're going to be like, and all the things that they're going to be in order to make us happy, and how we're going to be together in order to be happy. But it's sort of like we play this time loop because we are stuck in this 24-hour time loop reality. The sun rises and the sun sets, and everything makes us. This is the thing about the ego. This is why that your soul doesn't exist in time, and everything that it's creating is continuously going on and expanding. And that is the reason why that there's so much that you and I have already given birth to from the seed of the soul. That there's so many seeds that have blossomed and have manifested in that vibration that we can't even in a million lifetimes take it all in, because it's always expanding. The universe that is you, all that you've lived through lifetimes, and everything, every desire. But in this time linear reality, we're stuck in the 24-hour loop. You know, it's sort of like we get up the next day and we just hope that's going to be better the next day, but we kind of tend to look forward to the same things on that 24-hour loop, wanting some things to improve and have new things come in. But then once we invite that manifestation in, let's say like that partner, now we want them to be the same. We want them to love us like they always did the moment they first loved us. And you want to feel the way you did, the way you felt when you first met them. And you never want it to change. You never want it to grow. And you never are expecting it to. So then when it does, you feel cheated or betrayed. And what it was is that you weren't keeping up with the development of your relationship, because of that time linear reality that we get stuck in. It's like the function of our ego is to keep us looping on, and expecting very little to change. And if it does, it doesn't seem good. But when it does, it's actually right, because you are now aligning with your soul's perspective and your soul's continuous evolution, its growth. Your soul never stops growing. Therefore, your life never stops growing, even into the big, the big death, as they call it. The big change is what the angels refer to as death, is what the big change, and the changes that we go through in life, they call it the little change, the little death, because we resist them both, the little ones and the big one. And and we're afraid because we're in this illusion, this 24-hour time loop, we see everything as beginning and ending, you know, beginning and dying, and being born and dying, and so on and so forth. And this is not really who we are. And so it's this, we're going to always feel like we're off somehow, no matter what. It's hard to get happy when you are not aligning with the development of your soul. Your soul is always growing, always evolving, always giving birth. So don't focus so much on the endings and start focusing on beginnings, because that's where your soul is. It's always where there's a beginning, and it follows it until it doesn't see it as an ending or death. It sees it as that next step, that next phase, that new chapter. And so you see how mortality would be less frightening, and it would take up less of your time if you were focused on beginnings. If you were focused on those beginnings and new chapters, that as you go through that process, that wherever it takes you, and you're just following its growth, its development. And when it shifts, it's about a new phase, a new chapter, not an ending, but a new phase, a new chapter. So that if you had a love, and you don't look for that love relationship to be the same, you don't expect it to be anything beyond what it is right now. So that if it comes to a conclusion, then you would see it as a new chapter. You would see that your interaction is now evolving into something different. You're not losing something, you're gaining something, but it's just different. Maybe it becomes a now really profound friendship, but that romance just went in another went in another direction. You still love each other, not just in that way, and you're understanding that way that you're now meant to love each other is that way, so that new way, that new path, that new relationship, that will not just be like that or as good as that, but it will be something more, something different. But it is what it is. See all the labels. And so if we can sort of tap into this energy, this offering of your soul, and get out of that 24-hour loop of repeating things, it makes a cycle. And that's what makes it so difficult for us to embrace change, because everything about our this time linear reality is about looping, about cycling. And it really creates your perspective of suffering. It causes you to suffer because you aren't open to change, because it feels like things just start up over the next day. Although it's a brand new day, what happens in that day doesn't happen before. But that's why we also have addictions, or things that we fixate on or obsess on, because or our habits. These are all the seeds of our ego that sort of traps our soul and causes it to feel like it's in a prison, because the soul knows that only freedom. And freedom isn't just about being able just to do whatever you want to do, but it's to always become. It's that freedom for the soul is always becoming. It's that idea of that you're always becoming, you're always evolving, you're always changing. This is freedom. Yet your ego has convinced you that it's the opposite. It's chaos. And it's the destruction of all of your comforts. So it coerces you into protecting your comforts, your the things the way you like it. I like to have my coffee. I can't get started without my coffee. I can't function unless happens every day at this time. This is the illusion. And so they want you to sort of pay attention, because this usurps your power, your spiritual power, and your spiritual connection to the things that you desire. and it usurps your creativity, because creativity isn't just there to just to make that one thing happen, frozen in time. It's not for that. And that's what makes it a little difficult for you to believe in your manifestations, because your manifestations from the ego's perspective is in that sort of that loop, a cycle. It's sort of like, it's like we like to freeze things according to time. We like to lock it into time. And your desires aren't really locked in time. Hope I haven't confused you with this, but this is something that's coming through new, and so I'm hearing it for the first time as well. But I really hope you can just sort of, if it allows you to just change a little bit about your perspective or your beliefs, or to let you look at the habits that you find comforting, or the addictions that you feel you must have to, in order to replace that fulfillment that only you can get from unlocking yourself from the predictabilities of time, and that you learn to, it's like a comfort blanket that you use to comfort yourself. So this is important. I feel that we begin to embrace this new perspective. This is sort of one of the many, I call these ascension lessons, where we're seeing things differently. We're looking at time. We're looking at the elements of our lives that we've been using and functioning with through the ego's perspective, and the soul is reclaiming its place in your heart and your consciousness and in your life, so that your reality is to bring the soulful experience into the physical reality. All right, let's take a look at the cards for this week, and look at the Archangel Oracle card for the theme of this week. So let's see. Okay. And this makes sense to the meditation, some of the things I was seeing before our meditation, before I began the video. And so this is Archangel Raphael, and this is the card Healthy Lifestyle. And so let me tune in. What I was getting a sense, I kept seeing the word help, and I kept seeing the word gold, as in the golden energy, the Christ consciousness. So it gave me a sense of healing. And let me tune in and just see what information is coming up. So this is about, the card says, sorry about the lighting, but we're having a snow day and there's all clouds, and if I put my light on, it just made it hard to see even more, put a glare. So hopefully you'll be able to see this. But it says, eat a healthful diet, get adequate sleep, and exercise regularly for optimal health. Okay? So as I'm tuning into this card, one of the things that's coming up to me is it's really important about getting for your intuition. Now your intuition is really starting to expand and develop. And one of the things that is really important right now, so that as your soul consciousness is sort of you're becoming aware. It's always been there in the forefront of your life. I use this sort of analogy that that what's been happening is that your ego has been sort of in the driver's seat, or in the front seat, like a front seat driver, or and the ego and the soul has been sort of shoved to the back seat, and that it's coming to the front seat is not literally true. It's always been where it's been, which is the part of you that's real and true, and at the center of your entire life experience. The thing is that your ego makes it seem that you've been separated from your soul, and you never have been. But what's happening right now, when I say your soul is moving to the front, is that you are allowing yourself to recognize who you are. You're allowing yourself to be aware of your spiritual attributes and its power, and you're allowing, and some of you are getting these snippets where you're seeing, they just wrote self, so you're seeing yourself in ways that you haven't seen yourself before. You're seeing things around you in your life the way you haven't seen it before. And this is because that you're now sort of beginning to align with the truth, that you're beginning to make the connection, and you're beginning to accept that connection, and you're beginning to embrace the security of ideas and insights and perspective that this is giving you. This is helping you to take flight in new ways, that where you have felt capped, and they're writing this out, where you felt capped in your life, and those caps are now gone. And when those caps are gone, you can no longer be contained within that cycle of the time linear illusion. And so you're finding yourself bursting out, and it feels like a burst of fresh air, or it feels like freedom, and where you're seeing and understanding things as they are unfolding. But how this applies to this card is that they really need you to be more focused on taking care of your health. And this has a lot to do with the energy flow. And they're writing out the word cash, and feeling more of that symbolism we talked about a few weeks ago about your currency, your energetic currency is your cash. Okay? And so you have to treat that energetic currency, that cash, that vibrational cash, with respect. And that respect applies to, and really feeling like getting that, taking care of your health, getting that adequate sleep, so that your body and your consciousness and everything about you goes into that state of allowing. You need those 8 hours of allowing, where you're not resisting, but you're allowing. And remember how we talked about in the dreams, although you may have you may have good dreams, bad dreams, but the thing is that you don't resist the change. You flip from one situation, setting, or scenario, and you just touch down, and you keep going. You respond. You don't say, no, stop, I don't want this to happen. But in our waking dreams, and I call them daydreams, because this is a dream reality, the 24-hour time loop, we resist. We say, no, I don't want this to happen. We don't trust. But in that dream time, we do. So in that time, we need that time of allowing, in order to create the balance for all the resistance that we put up, that we struggle with when we're awake. And so and that's one part of it, as well as they want you to be, so they want you to think of when you're awake, as like, this is the lab, okay, that your soul works in. The physical experience is the lab that your soul works in, and can be effective and have clearer connection with you if you are rested, if you are eating healthily. There's about sugar, it causes all kinds of things. I know when I cut out sugar, and I mean, I still have it from time to time, but like, I was really had like boxes of cereals and flavored yogurt every day, and I was just like bloating all the time. And I noticed that stopped as soon as I eliminated those products that I was using, and my body started to feel better. And so I noticed that when I'm not on it, I feel more energetic. So we have to pay attention to the things that are sort of how do you want to say, sort of, the word is so simple, but it's like when we splurge, it's like these certain things that we're doing, but not getting enough sleep, or eating the things that are the best for your body, and you got to figure that out. You got to pay attention to the chemistry of what's going on after it goes through your body, and your body processes it. But these things just splurge your energetic cash, your energetic currency, you see. And so when it wants to go to that creative thing, it's exhausted, or frustrated, or you're have a lot of anxiety, or the gamut of things that can just pull us off of our focused goals and objectives. So this is really important for you to sort of tap into. All right, let's take a look at the card for the beginning of the week and see what's going on. And these first two cards I pulled together, so I put them side by side at the beginning of the week and the second card middle of the week. But I think they have a message that goes together. But I'll start with the first one first. Okay, so let's take a look here. All right, so we have the Six of Fire. And I'm going to go ahead and turn the second one over for the middle of the week. And balance. Okay, so that just talks about the message we were just looking at there. And so the first card is about something that you are starting to feel as though you are championing something, that you're starting to see this direction of success unfold. And I'm getting a sense that as you begin to, they're writing out the word trust, so that you're starting to have a sense of trust, okay? You mean, these are the things you want to start to pay attention to, is that when you shift, and when you feel a shift in yourself, like a profound sense of trust, all right, this is something that you have to begin to focus. This means that you are ready, you had a breakthrough, and this is an important time for you to now focus, okay, on an idea that you have received or had. If this is a perfect time for you to reach out for help, they're writing that word help out. It would be a perfect time for you to, if you're thinking about some transitions, if you're thinking about, I'm getting a sense about something about health, that maybe you've been told to, that it would be healthier for you to live in a different environment, like in another part of or relocation, or maybe it's a good idea to change your job because of a health, or to leave a relationship because of health reasons, or if there's something, a job opportunity, because these are the things I'm seeing one by one. If there's a job opportunity that affords you more money and resources and time and energy, that this is the right thing for you to do. So it's like this is this card I'm getting is that there's a good opportunity here, and I'm getting a sense of that whatever opportunities are coming up for you, they're going to be rewarding in the way that they offer you more balance in your life. And so that the decisions that you're making right now have to do, and the things that your soul is showing you, is inspiring you with the fire suit, is inspiring you to do, is to move towards things that give your life balance, okay? To bring things into that place of wholeness. I'm getting a sense that I feel like there's something also around relationships that may find some kind of harmony. So if you've been experiencing an imbalance in a relationship or in a work environment, and that the relationship could be a work environment, and it hasn't been going well, or things have just been sort of, it's just been a lot of contention and stress, that this may be the time for you now to here's one thing that's coming through, they're interrupting. Either something's going to shift in which you're going to start to be recognized for everything that you've been doing. So you may be ready to jump ship, and it may be just the time that I feel that they start to recognize everything that you've brought to the table. And so some kind of balance is going to come in for you. So you may want to just sort of hold out for that to see how that unfolds. but at the same time, it may be this urge for some of you that um, you need to move into a situation where you are where it's not so much about being respected, because that comes from that lower vibration, but it's about going to where your skills and your talents are better served. Make sense? And don't try to like don't try to work all that out. If you see it's just not improving and you see it just getting worse, it's not because of anything that's wrong with you. It's just the universe showing you it's time to move on. But the thing is that you knew that, but you don't embrace that because you embrace the ego, which says that what the ego's objective is always to have you take things personally, so that you want to sort of fight for all the wrong reasons. You want to dig in your heels, and you want to get some respect, or you want to be or you want to make things work, because this is a secure situation, and if you could be there for X number of years, you could really set yourself up, and all of this stuff is out of balance with what your soul is orchestrating for you, which is something far more profound and something far better, and that is balanced in all the right ways, so that you don't have to put that effort to make things work or to reconcile them. You shouldn't have to do that. The balance that your soul chooses for you is true balance. You don't have to mend it in order and tweak it to get it to be right. All you have to do is follow the channel of love that flows through you. And that channel of love, and taking the actions and those inspired actions out of that channel of love, will always sort of arrange the balance for you without you necessarily doing it, stepping out of your own alignment, and being out of alignment, then to making choices that are just all effort rather than inspired action. Okay, does that make sense? So, it's time. This is what I think Archangel Raphael is talking about, this healthy lifestyle. Is it healthy to to work so hard at making things fit? Is that healthy for you? So that as a soul, you then are not exercising the wellness and well-being that your soul resides in, that pristine sort of orchestration of possibilities, but yet you're learning the opposite, that about yourself, which is not the truth, that if you don't fix things within you and fix other people, that you can't, and work really hard at it, that you can't be happy when happiness already exists. It's just about allowing it and allowing that channel of that to flow through you and to inspire the path of least resistance, or path of relief for you. Okay? All right, let's take a look at the card for the end of the week. So this is speaking very clear, all of these cards. Release. I mean, what interpretation do we need here? So this is about this time of change, and moving on to that next chapter. This is traditionally the death card, but what it really means is it's about releasing and moving on to the next chapter, allowing that transformation of possibilities to unfold for you, accepting the alignment of balance, and accepting that in this change that you're allowing the universe to orchestrate and carry out that balance for you, that you're not locking yourself in a picture frame of time, looking at your job, looking at idealizing your job or a relationship or anything in your life. When we idealize and put things on pedestals, we've taken that photograph and we've frozen that experience in time, and it's no longer evolving, and you are no longer evolving with it, and it's going to equal to misery, because if you're idealizing something, it's no longer evolving, and it's causing you not to evolve, then it has to equal misery, because the soul is always evolving, and that means you're not being your true self. Okay, so there's something that you have to, maybe by the end of the week, but all these crises can happen within the week, but there's something that you realize that you have to let go. And I get a sense that this is going to be a moment of recognition. And it's because this is a minor arcana card, it's going to be on some small day-to-day level, just the some the little changes that you're going to realize. You're going to let go of that battle and realize that by letting go of that battle, that you've actually won. Okay, that you've actually come out on top, and you're going to start to do. You're going to do it because it's healthy. It's healthy for you. It's healthy for yourself. It allows you to recognize that you are a part of a team, a universal team. You don't do it by yourself. You do it together. Remember, the universe desires that balance for you more than you want it. And so therefore, because of that, there is nothing that can really distort that momentum except you saying no to it by giving in to what your ego is saying about it. Okay? Let's take a look at the card that I pulled from the bottom of the deck already. It's the Knight of Earth. And I'm hearing, take this one step at a time. Okay? Nobody's saying that you have to just run out and do this. The first thing that may be that you may come up for you is that you just may recognize that you need to let go this week of something, that you've been cycling something, and that the cycle hasn't been evolving or going anywhere. So that sense of that something's not going anywhere, and that you've got to get out of your own way and let it and move on. But you're going to just recognize that could be step one in this week that happens for most of you, that you just get this clarity, like, oh, okay, I don't need this. I don't really need to do this. This isn't bringing balance in my life, that I've been allowing by sort of I've been getting in my own way, interfering, that I haven't been allowing the balance. Remember that the universe and the universe of your soul is always is working towards balance. So the same thing with your body. And I know this is hard for us to believe, because we got a mind, we got an ego, and it gets in the way and it tells us, no, that's not true. It's not possible. But even your physical body is always, those cells are always working for balance, for that wholeness of your physical health. It's monitoring it, and it's operating to always restore your health, to restore balance. So that's why it's so important for you to take care of these areas that Archangel Raphael is talking about your diet, about sleep, and about exercise, and also about honoring your soul, honoring your heart, honoring your truth, and following those inspired actions. If you make sure that you think of inspired action as a meal on your plate. This is the healthiest diet that you could put into practice, is following inspired actions. So if something, and you know how we do this, we ignore, so like we'll get a feeling to do something right then, we're inspired, and we go, your ego kind of just says, oh yeah, but I'm too tired to do that right now. But it inspired you, or it just came. Sometimes it doesn't have to be this big whammy. It's just like you get reminded of something, and it feels good, right, to do it in that moment. But you go, So don't override them, okay? Don't override those. And definitely don't override it when you're inspired to write a book, because I was seeing that at the beginning. If you feel inspired to write a book, don't, or to change something, don't talk yourself out of it. Just go ahead and do it, because you're gonna feel good. See, your ego tells you you're not. It says you should lay there a little bit longer. You need some rest because you aren't getting enough sleep. Now it doesn't. Now it's telling you you're not getting enough sleep when it told you to. Oh, no, 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 you can stay up a little bit longer. Oh, no, 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 you can go do that thing. No, don't worry about that. So see, don't listen to your ego at all. It's not good at giving advice because it's afraid of everything. And we're not calling the ego evil. It's just afraid of everything. So it's not going to give you the right advice because it's afraid. You don't make good decisions when you're afraid. So why would you trust your ego to do the same, which is always afraid? So you have to pay attention to when you're inspired. And when those inspired actions come about, take that time to go to handle that and then come right back, you see. So the night is about working in practical ways, about taking the steps along the way, really sort of being really immersed in your goals or a project that feels good to you, that feels healthy. All right. So I feel like that's the connection between that Archangel Raphael and the night is trying to speak about, is just devoting yourself to something that feels really good to you. And don't be in a hurry or rush, but don't also ignore the things that come to you in that moment. All right, so send you lots of love and angel blessings, and I just want to remind you that from now until January 1st, if you're an old client, and the new clients, new and old for this time period, but this doesn't expire for new ever. But just for the old clients, if you're looking for an angel reading, you can get the first time promotional discount reading offer, okay, through January 1st. So even if we can't get the reading time in, which probably won't happen because of Christmas week, the season, and New Year's, it'll be good for any time after, okay? So take this time to really connect in and listen to what your heart's saying to you. It always gives you the healthy choices. So thank you all for joining us here on YouTube, for subscribing, and for all the likes and the comments. If you haven't joined us on the Facebook page, you can find that description link below where I do the daily card messages Monday through Friday. Also, my website is theangelschool.com, and you can go on the services page and sign up for an angel reading. There is also sort of a coaching, 10 sessions there called the Divine Roadmap, which can help you if you're trying to work on a long-term goal of manifestation or something of some kind, or you want to use it for spiritual development and your understanding your own guidance. But you can find that description, that link in the description below. So have a wonderful week. God bless you all. And I love you, and we'll talk again next week. Bye-bye.